Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Virginia Killmore, and welcome to my studio. Today is Collage Wednesday. It's my favorite day of the week because I love collages. And I'm sharing with you a card, and I'm copying it exactly from my friend Pam Mead, who's a very gifted designer. I stamp with her a lot. She lives right down the road. I would have never known her had it not been for her mom, who was my kids' secretary at their school. But Pam was a former science teacher and really has been delving into the arts. So it's really fun to watch her get creative as she comes and stamps with me on a regular basis. So let's get started because I think you'll really enjoy this card. So this photo does not do this card justice. This card shimmers. There's shimmer mist on it, and there's also some more reds to it that you can't see for some reason on the camera. But I'll show you, walk you right through it. It's a really fun card to do because there's so many layers and there's lots of different ways to go about it. I think the first thing I always like to do is to get my cardstock all situated on my backing so that can dry while we're working. So I'm going to go ahead, just set that right down and put that aside so that will dry while we are working. And as always, I love to use my punches to put a little weight on them. Okay, that's good. So I'll set that over here off to the side, and now we can concentrate on this. So this collage is a mixture of coloring with 2 sets of inks, terracotta tile, and cinnamon cider. Now, I have not verified this, so I could be wrong, but we'll find out soon enough, won't we? And a bunch of stamps. And that is the one thing about this card that is a little overwhelming, but these were some of the first 2 stamps I had to have from the new catalog, Enjoy the Moment and Dragonfly Garden. And I got this one for free just for being a demo through Stampin' Up! And going to a convention. This is a tried and true stamp set that I love, very Versailles. I love the way the writing appears, so that works really well with the stamp set. So I have all the stamps already on blocks, and I'll show you which ones we used. We used this one, and that one from this one, and the Happy Birthday. The only one we used from Very Versailles was this one. And then we used one of the dragonflies, and then all the little scattered dragonflies along there. Now, this card can be changed up and done many different ways. I thought about doing it in a different color, but boy, I love this color combination. So we're going to just get right into it. I am using one of the new blending brushes, and I'm going to start out by putting color all over this cardstock. And I noticed that Pam concentrated her cinnamon cider on this sort of half, and over here was mostly terracotta tile. And since I consider the cinnamon cider a little lighter than the terracotta tile, I'm going to start with that. And I'm just going to pound and then just start blending color. And the thing about these blending brushes is you don't get the little hard spots that you usually get with dauber. I said that, but look at these spots I have already. But with any kind of brush like this, the longer you blend, the more interesting it gets. And because I have so much going on with the stamps, you will not notice so much the little spots. You want to always work slowly and evenly when you blend. Look at how beautiful that is. I'm building that up very slowly and going back and getting color. Now when I have a spot like that that's a little dark, I can just work in between it. See how I pick up color, dry off a little bit, and then work back into that spot. And I'm also working the edges of my paper because I want a little bit of a darker edge right along there. And now I'm going to switch. I'm going to put a little bit of color over here because I want them to mix a little bit. The best way to not get these little spots is to start out here someplace, because then you can sort of blend. And I'm sorry about the shaking. My table's pretty good. Now, the way they explain to clean them is to just rub them on a dry surface. And I've been using them all different ways, and I've had no problem with them going from color to color. I'm going a little easier with this terracotta tile because it is so strong. And I'm so happy because I sort of just guessed what colors Pam used, and it's looking like that's what she did use. I'm going to pick up a little bit here, and I'm sort of concentrating most of the color on one side, but I am going to come back and forth between them. I'm going to bring a little pink into the center now, because I want it to sort of blend in between the two colors. Pam did a great job of integrating darks and lights on her card. I am noticing she might have used one more stamp set than I'm going to use, but we'll see. I can always pull it out if I need to. So I brought a little bit of the terracotta tile over there. I'm going to work on my edges now a little bit. Just sort of get some darker color on there, and sort of clean up my brush by just working an area until the brush feels like it's almost dry. And I am going to go back now to my cinnamon cider and work this corner a little bit more. It's evening up stuff. And I think I'm just about there. I'm happy. I should have had Pam on to tell me what I'm not doing, but I always like to sort of, my favorite part is figuring out how somebody did something, and it's not always the way I think. So now the main piece right here is that, I don't know what that is, seed pod? Oh, it's poppy pods, actually. So I'm going to put that down first. Okay, and then I'm going to work into some of the writing, and I'm going to be somewhat careful with it. I don't want it too dark because I don't want it to overpower, so I'm going to stamp off once. Just want to make sure I have it right side up because I have a tendency to put it on upside down. I think that's enough of that. Now I'm going to take a little dragonfly things and just put them in spots and sort of fill in areas and not worry too much if it's not quite right. I'm going to take this little guy, which is, I used to call them helicopters when I was little, and just put it in spots. This little seed pod, I'm going to go really light with that. I'm going to also stamp off. I don't want it to be too strong. I want this to be the focal point. And then the last thing is these little, I don't know, I don't want to say the word. I always get in trouble when I say the word ball. I think I'm going to put one more. I have this rule of 3 of everything. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that came out nice. I am going to go back and pick up a couple red dragonflies just to add more color to spots. And now I have to stop. This is the hard part for me. So I'm happy with that. I think it looks nice. It's close to Pam's. So now what I need to do is make my dragonflies, and I'm going to have 2 of them. They're both going to be done in cinnamon cider. And then they're going to be colored in with a blending brush. And while I'm at it, I might as well try to get this done. See how straight I get it. I'm going to go with the terracotta tile just for the heck of it. See how straight I get that the first time, and not at all. This is the first time stamping that, so sometimes you have to make an adjustment. Oh my goodness, that's still bad. I'm going to bring it down. It just does not want to stamp today. It's one of those days. Ah, that's much better. Finally, I'm happy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that and set it aside. I think she even took a little bit of this brush to that. As I'm looking at it, I can see that it's got a little bit of color. Now, she just took and just very softly colored in. It doesn't matter where you do it because, again, you're going to punch out that anyways. And then the other one is going to be, see how I'm cleaning this off, is going to be the cinnamon cider. And that's it. She did use some shimmer. No, it's not called shimmer. It's Wink of Stella, and I'm shaking mine up. I always do that. I pull off the brush. I forget. Just put a little bit of shimmer here and there. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and punch those out using this punch that we have. The new Dragonfly Dandy Garden, and I have these 2 little guys sitting right here. I could put them on the inside of my card if I colored them in a little bit. What could I color them in with? Maybe a little bit of this. Let's make them look a little interesting. That was too dark. Wow. And so I did it again, but that's okay. They'll be on the inside. It'll be fun. Okay, so let's put our card together because we're done with all our coloring and our stamping, and we had fun. I love Collage Wednesday because I love collaging. I always think these are, for me, the nicest cards. I try to do a variety of cards for people, but I love collages. So we are going to take this and put this on here, and I just decided I would like a little bit of jute on here. So I have to open up some jute. Of course, it's not cooperating. There it is. I'm never quite happy. I always have to add one more thing. But I am going to use the technique that I like to use. Actually, I'm not, because we're going to be putting that happy birthday. So I'm just going to put this around the back. And I think I'm going to put the happy birthday in a different spot, but we'll see. Okay, so now I need my tape. I'm going to go ahead and flip that over to make sure it's lining up the way I want it before I cut it. My scissors have jewelry. I don't know if you can see that. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, so now I can go ahead and attach this. And this piece is 1/8 of an inch larger than the piece below. And that makes for very tiny little border all the way around. I'm noticing I didn't do a great job folding this. Okay, so now I can put my happy birthday, and I think it'll look good here, but let's see. Because Pam did this, and that's why I think she had that over here. Yep, I think she's still right. I am going to trim this a little bit. And I am still going to stamp a little bit on here. You know, I'm going to be mad at myself for doing this, but I can't help it. I just want to add more texture to everything. I kind of like it. So let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on it. There's my crooked side. I had how many crookeds before I got a straight one? Stamping on a little piece of paper like that is not easy. So what's nice about using this dimensional on here is it secures the ribbon in place too. It sort of holds it down for me. And then I'm just going to put a dimensional on the back of each of these dragonflies. And I am done. I'm using a little leftover piece. I'm so thankful that Pam shared this card with me. It was my favorite card out of the whole swap. There's one other one that my girlfriend Amy did that I'll be sharing with you in the next couple weeks. But isn't that pretty? Now I am going to put champagne rhinestones, but I don't necessarily love them right there. So this is the part that is fun when you copy someone's card. You can do your own thing. I thought it looked really nice right on the dragonflies' heads. And then maybe one right by our sentiment. Just to bring attention to it. So thank you, Pam, for sharing this beautiful card. I'm going to put my little dragonfly in here. The other one has fallen on the ground and I'm not going to hunt for it. So I'm just going to put one little one in here just to add one more little level of fun when you open up the card. And you could put a sentiment in there. Isn't that a fun card? So pretty. So thankful that Pam was willing to share with us this beautiful card, and thankful that you watched today. Tomorrow is another fun card that Pam designed. You'll see it tomorrow. You're going to love it. So, and it's a fun fold. So I hope you join me tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Have a great afternoon and get some crafting.